Hey, what's up guys? Today we have an interesting video about Urashiki Otsutsuki, and I'm here with one of my friends, Harrison Senpai.
Yo, what's going on? It's good to be here.
Me and Harrison, we did a collab earlier. I'm pretty sure you guys remember. I sent you guys over to his channel. If you guys haven't seen that one, I'll pretty much link it in the comment section below. But me and Harrison, we've always been talking about Urashiki and his tendencies, and especially since we've seen Urashiki in the episode 66, and we know he is not dead. It's finally confirmed that my man's Urashiki is pretty much not dead. And Harrison Senpai, he's always been making these theory videos about how Urashiki is pretty much going to be involved in Boruto somehow. And Harrison, you want to tell him about your theories that you made?
Yeah, well, I mean, Urashiki to me at this minute in time is probably the most interesting character, from my opinion. The fact that he's this blank canvas and he can be molded into anything, I can't wait. And like you said, with episode 66, that one line he said, where he said about Boruto being a problem for us, the emphasis on the us, whether that's going to be the Otsutsuki clan or whether it's going to be, you know, the Kara organization, which is where I'm more heading towards. Personally, I've been saying it for quite a while that I think he's going to have some very tight connections to the Kara organization and be like a ringleader alongside someone maybe like Jigen, and how they're getting all of their inside information. And same goes for him, how he gets all of his inside information on the earth, the Jinchuriki, whatnot, and all of that.
And that's something like I really agree with Malin, because, you know, coming into this arc, Urashiki was mainly the Otsutsuki member that knew a lot about this dimension. You know, how else would he know a lot about this dimension if he didn't have some sort of connections with this earth? And, you know, the main thing that, as you said, we're kind of agreeing on is that he has some sort of connections with the Kata organization. You know, if you guys haven't really been catching up with the manga, the Kata organization is quote unquote the new Akatsuki. A lot of people like to label them that, but it's pretty much an organization that has a lot to do with Boruto's Karma Seal. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys probably know about it, but the people who haven't really been catching up on the manga, I highly recommend you guys do. Here's the thing about Urashiki. You know, Urashiki is pretty much like an open book. We don't really know anything about him. In terms of, like, for example, he has a lot of dojutsus that we've already seen before. For example, we've seen the Byakugan, we've seen the Rinnegan, but it's like he could possibly have a lot more dojutsus, you know. What do you think about that? Do you think he'd have more dojutsus than the only two that we've actually seen?
Well, yeah, personally, I think there's definitely chances out there. I mean, the world of Naruto and Boruto, I mean, it's just all about the eyes, really. Constantly snatching eyes off people. But one possibility which I was considering is the fact that the Tensegan was a dojutsu which showed incredible power, and we hardly really got to see it. We obviously saw it in the last with Toneri. Other than that, that's been it. Now, the Tensegan, it's a bit shaky on how it's obtained, but from what we know, it's descendants of Hamura, and the Hyuga clan take the pure Byakugan of a Hyuga clan, implant that into an Otsutsuki, descendant of Hamura, and there you go. That Byakugan then evolves into the Tensegan. One of the reasons why I think the Tensegan is quite a large possibility for Urashiki is the fact that, obviously, if he's going to be this big, bad main villain, and understandably, we've not seen a great deal of what he's actually capable of. But when you put him up against, say, Momoshiki, you don't really get that sense of power. Now, I don't think we've seen Urashiki go all out. I see a lot of people say he's not that strong as he got bodied by Gaara and Chojuro, but I personally can't side on that. I think if he was going full out, we would have seen the Rinnegan straight away. But if he does need to get some form of power boost later on down the series, the Tensegan is a more than possible option for him to go down.
And we spoke about this like right before we actually started the collab. You know, there's someone that commented under your video. They said that he could possibly come to Earth, take Hinata's eyes, and possibly create the Tensegan. As you said, the creation of the Tensegan is pretty much real fuzzy to a lot of us as of right now. Even though we got a full movie about it, it's still kind of, you know, iffy. We don't really know exactly how he's supposed to get it. But let's say he is going to, or let's say he can just go to Earth, take Hinata's eyes, and possibly, you know, get the Tensegan. So at that point, you know, Urashiki would probably be almost invincible. He'd probably be one of the strongest characters of Boruto, period, Malin, because, you know, he has the Byakugan, he has the Sharingan, or excuse me, just the Rinnegan, or Red Rinnegan, and he'd also have the Tensegan. What do you think that he'd probably be gathering up all this, you know, energy and chakra for? You know, with the idea of Momoshiki, what he wanted to really do is he wanted to gather up a lot of the chakra to make a chakra tree. Do you think that he has some sort of goal similar to that?
I definitely think he's got some sort of goal. I made a video a couple months ago now about Urashiki, and I was saying how I don't feel as though he's that committed to the clan. I feel like his situation could possibly be a bit similar to Kaguya's, in the sense that he may not agree with the clan's intentions, something like this, and for that reason he wants to kind of rebel against them. Now, he might go down a different route to Kaguya. Obviously Kaguya ran away, and that was that. Urashiki, on the other hand, he may plan a full force attack to try and overtake and rebuild the Otsutsuki clan, something like that. And obviously he knows that him by himself, that's just stupid talk. He's not going to be able to do it. And maybe that's where he got the idea of gathering up a group, creating something like the Kara organization, or joining the Kara organization, something like that. And then he wants to get as much power as he can, because obviously if you're going to take on an entire clan of gods, you're going to need some sort of power. But I definitely agree, if he's going to be getting this power, he's definitely going to have some sort of goal in mind. Whether that's going to be what I just said or something completely different, I'm not 100% sure.
All right, yeah, I see where you're coming from. The only thing where I kind of have a problem with that is that, as of right now, we can't agree that Urashiki pretty much already knows that Boruto has the Karma Seal. Boruto is pretty much the guy to beat Momoshiki. But let's say in the manga where Kashin Koji figure out that, hey, Boruto finally has the Karma Seal, he was like kind of taken back, like he was extremely surprised. I mean, after that, the whole mission changed. It's like, now we don't have to completely get kawaki now we could just sit back and see what's going on, gather more information.
Well, I understand where you're coming from, because that's something which I think about as well. It's kind of something that not necessarily debunks it, but it does bring up questions. However, we also saw in the chapter that Kashin Koji is not necessarily certain that they've been given all the intel. He let Kawaki and etc. get away, and he said he was going to go back, and he wants answers. Whether or not those answers will then be revealed that Urashiki's there, and they've not been told the full story of what's going on. Maybe that's why he wasn't too sure, but I do completely agree with where you're coming from.
Yeah, I feel like in terms of the Kata organization, their goal isn't necessarily out there and open yet. We have no idea what they're pretty much working towards, but in my opinion, I feel like they're not really connected to this dimension as much. A lot of people have been speculating that Jigen, which is the leader of the Kata organization, is probably like an alien, probably not an Otsutsuki member, but he could probably be from like another clan or something that we've never really seen before. A lot of people look at his picture and say he looks like an alien. His eyes are extremely big. That could possibly be true. The thing about that is that I feel like the Otsutsuki clan, they're basically targeting Earth now for the chakra. They basically want a lot of chakra that's on Earth, and that's pretty much how Momoshiki has been targeting Naruto, all the other tailed beasts. That could possibly be one of the goals of the Kata organization, where they want more chakra, where they want more power, like an agreement with Urashiki, especially how the Karma Seal is definitely a power boost. They could possibly be working with Urashiki, trying to figure out, hey, where's this Otsutsuki member, where's that Otsutsuki member, and things like that. I feel like it could possibly be like a mutual understanding, where it's like Urashiki gets information from the Kata organization, and then the Kata organization basically work as Urashiki's hitman and try to like destroy the Otsutsuki members that Urashiki doesn't like. For example, if we talk about Toneri, the Kata organization could possibly kill Toneri for Urashiki. In exchange, the Kata organization would get another Karma Seal, and that would benefit both sides.
Exactly, I couldn't have put it better myself. I was thinking about the whole Toneri and Urashiki thing, and how obviously Urashiki having him sealed away, it would make for a great trade-off with Kara. Urashiki gets more intel, whatever he wants, whatever he's after. In return, like you said, they get an Otsutsuki to whatever they want to do, experiment on, blah blah blah. Then eventually they can get a Karma Seal from them. Whether that's going to be, say, that's where Kawaki got his from, we're not too sure. Or the only other person, I don't think it's confirmed whether or not Jigen has a seal. He's definitely got a mark which is reminiscent of a seal. Whether that's where he got his from, blah blah blah. Personally, I probably think he's had his for a long time. But like you said, completely agree. Bringing Toneri into the equation creates just much more possibilities going forward.
I have a question. Do you think that Toneri will probably have a bigger role in Boruto after this? Because obviously he is sealed supposedly for the next 10,000 years. Do you think that he'll probably come out of that frozen state, or probably Naruto would save him? Or do you think that he's probably gonna die after this? Like, this is it for Toneri?
I was very sold on the idea that he'd be a huge character going forward. You know, he'd be the one to teach Boruto about the Jougan, all of this. But as time goes by and we see Urashiki surviving and having all of this mystery and having a goal set, I do kind of start to doubt whether or not he will be as large as he is, whether he's just going to be kept sealed for whatever reason, or quote unquote killed, you know, something like that, and then fall back. We have no idea what will happen, but yeah, I was fully sold on the idea of him being a huge character going forward. But like I said, as time goes by, I start to doubt that each time.
And one of the most interesting things I got from, you know, your video talking about your theories about Urashiki, Toneri, and everything else, and I'll link that in the comment section below for you guys who want to check it out. One of the most interesting things is you spoke about how Momoshiki could possibly be, you know, guiding Boruto about his eye, mainly because, you know, Momoshiki and Boruto could possibly have a greater threat, you know, and he probably want Boruto to master his eye.
Yeah, so like you said, I was starting to think whether or not Momoshiki would actually be Boruto's Toneri, or what we thought Toneri would be to Boruto, where Urashiki could be residing still inside of Boruto, a little bit like the connection that the Jinchuriki have with their tail beasts like Naruto and Kurama, where he's dead but he's inside of him, they can still communicate with one another. And the reason I brought this up is because Kawaki said some weird things, some interesting things in the chapter where he was saying, you know, it wasn't me, it was this guy, but he wasn't referencing anyone in particular, so people started speculating, is there someone inside of him, blah blah blah. And so that's where I was thinking Momoshiki, if he is inside Boruto and he's kind of watching everything as Boruto grows, he could see the threat that Urashiki's become, because we know Momoshiki was incredibly loyal to the Otsutsuki clan. He was devoted to them and he would complete their goals. And if he sees Urashiki, someone who he thought, who he worked with, was a comrade of his, no matter how they got along, if he saw Urashiki betray the clan and have these greater motives to take over the clan, destroy the clan, whatever, then that could be where Momoshiki says to Boruto, listen, I know you killed me, I think you're a brat, but listen, you've got a power that no one else has, and it's needed to take this guy down. And then that could be where Momoshiki from the inside starts to teach Boruto about the Jougan, and then that's where he could start to learn how to control the power.
I feel like that's a very interesting theory, you know, in a sense where there you get that dynamic where Momoshiki still hates Boruto, but he has to act as like a Jiraiya in a way. But I kind of disagree with that. I have my own theory about that, and it's not necessarily saying that yours is pretty much debunked or it's bad or anything like that. I just have my own kind of theory. I feel like, you know, Kawaki and Boruto may have like sort of like the same eye dojutsu. You know how their karma seals are linked? I feel like that it could be the same thing with the eye dojutsu, but it's this kind of dynamic with the with the anime and the manga, where it's like the manga is not necessarily showing us the eye dojutsu yet, and it could possibly be the same thing for Kawaki. We know that we've seen Boruto's eye dojutsu in the anime, and we didn't see Kawaki's quote-unquote eye dojutsu in the anime as well. But so I was talking to one of my friends, Cycles, I'm pretty sure you guys know who he is, but he actually spoke about something that was sort of like the polar opposite to the quote-unquote Star of Hope, which Tonei was actually mentioning about Boruto's eye. I feel like Kawaki could possibly have that, and the way I feel like Boruto could, you know, later on learn about his eye dojutsu or whatever is, you know, he eventually, you know, spars with Kawaki, he becomes friends with Kawaki. Kawaki tells him a lot of the stuff about the eye dojutsu, things like that. I feel like that could possibly be a good way for Boruto to eventually learn. But again, that Momoshiki theory, it is very interesting. That kind of changed my mind a little bit, but I do want to stick to the Kawaki kind of theory.
Yeah, I think that's great. I'd never thought about the idea of Kawaki having a dojutsu, but it is quite interesting, like you say. It'd be interesting to see where that goes.
Then one other question I wanted to ask you is, real quick, after Urashiki, do you have an idea of any other greater threat that they could possibly be facing?
Well, when Momoshiki attacked, he was saying something about, now I can't remember the exact quote, but the Otsutsuki clan needed the power, and I was starting to think, why does this clan of gods, these incredible beings, need power? And it made me wonder whether or not there's another species, another clan, maybe something related to Jigen. If Jigen is from this out of this world clan, maybe there is a level above the Otsutsuki, and that's where the Otsutsuki need this power, because they're under threat from another level of being.
Wow, I was thinking the same thing, and I was kind of thinking that mainly because you have this clan which is like the Otsutsuki clan. They're mentioned as gods, but they're still looking for more power. They're still looking for more chakra. They're going to these mortal worlds and mortal dimensions looking for this power. So there could possibly be a greater threat. I feel like eventually Boruto is probably gonna have to face this greater threat. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree.
All right, so we've pretty much got all of our conversations out, all of our theories out about Urashiki and the later on workings of Boruto and what Boruto is going to be up against in the future. Is there any final words that you want to say?
Just thanks for having me on. It's been great to talk about Urashiki. Like I said, my favorite topic at the minute.
Oh man, it's been a pleasure. If you guys don't know who Harrison Senpai is, man, he's a very knowledgeable Boruto YouTuber. He also covers a lot more anime. Do you want to talk about the other anime that you cover?
It's the main other one right now is Black Clover, but I'm gonna try and catch up to My Hero Academia at some point and bring that to the channel.
Yeah, so if you guys want to check out Harrison Senpai, of course his link is going to be in the description below, as well as the other videos and theories about Urashiki that he made as well. But as always, it's been your boy Baara B, and we out.